guys, what's up? My name's Angie, you're watching Super Bookish, and today I'm coming at you guys with my top favorite books from 2017. I cannot believe it's already 2018. It feels like 2017 was just yesterday. I'm gonna be filming for you guys some of my favorite books that I read last year. Holy shit, it's 2018. I kind of organized them by like least favorite to most favorite, but the spots are interchangeable depending on how I feel. So without further ado, let's get started. And the first book I'm going to talk about today is The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. This book is about a little boy who moves from his home to a home in Poland, and he's literally a fence away from a concentration camp, and in his home he's the only boy in his neighborhood, and his sister is not very nice, and his father is very high up in the German army. So in order to find a friend, he ends up walking along the fence and finding a friend from the camp, and the story really just kind of goes from there. And it talks about their friendship, and the ending of this book had me actually crying because it was obviously not the nicest ending ever if we're talking about a concentration camp while Hitler's in charge, right? Okay. This book was amazing. It was so well written, and it's so short, and it was absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend this book. If you guys liked The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, I highly recommend this one. The next one I have is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book follows our main character Connor, and every night at 12:07 a monster shows up at his door, and he tells him a story, and he has to figure out what's the significance of the story. And I'm not going to tell you anything more than that because I do not want to ruin this book for you, but this book was absolutely amazing. The pictures are just amazing. Do you see that? The illustrations were amazing, and they went so well with the story, and you just learn about Connor, and you learn about Connor's life. This book was so well written. There was a movie for it. I have not watched the movie, but the book was just amazing. Go pick it up. It's so good. The next book I have is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. This book is about a girl named Annie, and she lives a perfect life, a rich, handsome husband. She has a nice home, but when her past starts to come into her future, she has to question whether to tell the truth and ruin the facade she's created for herself, or to continue in the life that she's living now. And that story was so good. It was like reading a Gillian Flynn book with a twist to it that it's her own work, and I love Gillian Flynn writing, so this was absolutely amazing. If you guys like Gillian Flynn, this is a book I highly recommend for you to pick up because this story was just so well written, and the characters were just amazing, and she's a character that you're not supposed to like, but I loved her. The next book here on this list, I feel like everyone has this on their list, and that is The Heat You Give by Angie Thomas, and it's a well-deserved spot. This book follows our main character Star, and at 16 years old she witnesses her best friend being shot and killed by the police officer as they're coming home from a party. The story follows Star after this realization, her going to court, and process of the judicial system in America. And this book was just so well written. The characters were so well developed, and Star goes to this school, predominantly white school, away from the hood that they live in, and she has to deal with aspects of that, as well as deal with her father trying to protect her from the media getting in on her life and trying to change her friend from who he was into a thug, and that's why the police officers shot him, quote unquote. And this book just talks about the Black Lives Matter movement that's happening in America, and it speaks about so many racial issues, and even doing so, it doesn't do so in a way that makes you depressed. It just opens your eyes to so many things that you may not have realized, and I just love this book. Even the side characters were just such a nice mix and just so well thought out. Her parents in this book were amazing. They're the ultimate power couple. They are just down for each other through thick and thin, and I absolutely love it. This has a lot of family drama, but it's just the perfect book, and I think that this was such a well-needed story and just so well written, and I cannot wait to read anything else this author publishes because Angie Thomas, I love. The next book I have is a book that I haven't spoken about much on my channel, but I honestly think it needs more recognition because I don't hear anybody talking about it. I don't know why. And that is Her Butterfly Diary by B.L. McGrew. Okay, this book was amazing. The story starts where our main character is writing a diary about her life, and she really is not interested in writing the diary, but she has to do what she has to do. So at 17 years old, Zoe is a normal teenage girl, but she has a secret in her life, and that's what you need to figure out. And you've kind of learned what the secret is, but there's more to it than that. And it's her diary. This is her diary. Speaks about a lot of things that really aren't spoken about much, and I think that this book was so amazing, especially Zoe's character arc. She just developed so much through this book, and I absolutely just love this book, okay? Because Zoe was just such a precious character to me, and there was just so much involved in this story that just broke me, and I couldn't put it down. It was just such an amazing story, and I think everyone should read it. And this is by a self-published author, so I give a big up to B.L. McGrew that you did this, because you did it so well, and I just love it so much. So please, I'm talking about it a lot, so please pick it up. The next book I have is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This book, okay, first of all, this is a graphic novel. This book follows our two main characters, and they are from different worlds, and their worlds are at war. But she's a guard, he's a prisoner, and they fall in love and have this beautiful little baby. And the story is told from the daughter's perspective as they travel and try to escape from where they are now, and that's where the story comes. This book was, first of all, the art style is amazing, and the plot is so good, and there's just so much gore that I love, and so much just violence and sex and love, and just, it's amazing, okay? But if you're not into that, I recommend you don't pick this one up if you're not into the gory stuff, because you might not like this one too much. But if you are into it and you know you want to read it, go pick it up. The next book I have is something that was pretty popular on BookTube actually, and that is The Diabolic by Sj Kincaid. This book follows our main character Nemesis, and she is a Diabolic, and a Diabolic is someone who is created just to protect one person. And in this book, Nemesis, our Diabolic, is made to protect Sidonia, and Sidonia is summoned by the governor that her father is somewhat plotting against to go live in his home. So the only way that Nemesis is able to protect Sidonia is to go in her place. So you have this killing machine taking the place of a governor's daughter, and she has to just battle all this political tide and these people, and she has no idea about this world, but it just follows that story. And I absolutely love books with that political twist to it, and I realized that this year. A lot of books I read with that kind of political pizzazz in it were just amazing, and I honestly think they make the book so much better. The next book I have, I'm 100% sure I talked about before, and that is Nevernight by J. Kristo. This book follows our main character Mia Corvir, and her only goal in life is to get revenge for her father's murder. So she goes to this school for assassins, and her whole purpose is to become a blade so that she can get one step closer to avenging her father's death. If you do not like blood, sex, and gore, do not read this book. If you like it, pick this up like yesterday, because it's amazing. I love Mia with an unrelenting passion because she's amazing, okay? She's just this badass female assassin that can murder you in your sleep, and it's just, it makes me happy. Man, that sounded wrong, but holy shit, this book's amazing. I read Illuminae by J. Kristo and Amy Kaufman, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite book of all time, but these books, I love him by himself. Yeah, you do. So she's something called a Darkin, and she has this kind of not cat shadow that eats her fear, and it's just so good. So she's like this literally a fearless assassin. So it's just so good. And the final book should come as no surprise to anyone if you've been on this channel, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I read this entire trilogy this year, and these are the best books I read this year. Don't argue with me, because these are my favorite books ever. I will forever recommend these books to anyone who asks about them. This book follows our main character after something tragic happens. He's prompted to transform himself into a gold. So literally he undergoes this like entire transformation to turn himself into a gold, which is basically a ruthless killing machine, to go to this institution where the golds fight to the death to learn their power skills. So first he's in this little town, this little mining colony where he's happy. Oh, did I mention this is on Mars? Yeah, so this is on Mars. On top of it just being amazing, it's in literally a different planet. It's on Mars. So the Reds were sent to terraform Mars for the other humans to come, and when you realize the truth that happens, he gets mad and he's trying to save the world. And by doing that, he has to pretend to be his enemy. And it's just so good because the relationships in here, the people in here, Darrow is honestly my baby because I love him to death. He is just precious. And the whole book just has so many plot twists and cunning people and just well thought out plot points and twists and just amazing things that you should definitely read because it's just amazingness. Just honestly, just go read it. If you were into books, that is like The Hunger Games, but 100 times better with older, more mature characters, a lot more death and gore and sex, and just in general more violence, this series should be your very best friend. If you're into well-developed characters, a well-developed world, and political intrigue, this is also the book for you. If you were into amazing love stories, okay, this is the book for you. Amazing relationship and just character development for everyone in the entire book. This is the book for you. So if you guys could not tell, that was my favorite book of the year. I have no shame. Are some of my favorite books from this year. Go on Amazon and just go crazy, okay? They're just all my precious beings and I love them with all of my heart. If you guys like this video and want to know some of my least favorite books of this year, I'll be doing that very soon, so keep an eye out for it. If you guys like this video, which I really hope you do, I hope you leave a comment down below in the discussion bar so we can talk about it. If you've read any of these books, let me know so we can chat down below in the comments. If you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe down below. My name's Sj, you're watching Sj Books. I'll see you guys later. Bye.